Welcome back to Let's Clean PowerWash Simulator. I'm BurningDogFace, and we're working on this Rogaldorn battle tank named after a Primarch, one of the Emperor's sons. Let's see. I wanted to give a shout out to Yornik, who, Oh, I should clarify that this is one of Yornik's delightful jokes and doesn't reflect on the actual canon, in case you were unaware. Just, disclaimer. Fun fact, Emperor's real name was Simon, so the machine god is actually called Omni-Simon. But after a few hundred years of typos and glitching, the techno folks decided that it's Omnisaya. Oh, and I want to believe that the tech priests do talk to their machines, sort of like loving pet owners. Who's a good machine gun? You are? Yes, you are! Pour some noxious fluid inside the mechanism. Now we oil your geary gears so you'll go all pew pew pew. And the machines purr happily because they are indeed good boys and or girls. Also, do you know what's the favorite music genre of techno priests? Techno priests? Techno priests? That's right, they're huge fans of rhythm and blues. And one more thing, and you'll notice I'm on the pause menu as I read this. I don't even know how he wrote in a different font on YouTube, but he wrote Chaos Reigns Supreme in all caps. Oh dear. Yeah, shout out to Justin Jones, who says, oh yes, on the subject of the Land Raider. Maybe Tzeentch's demons leave behind ever-changing flavors of ice cream when destroyed. Based on the debrief, I'm guessing that a detachment of Ultramarines found a piece of archaeotech that the Mechanicus really wanted. They were so grateful to the Ultramarines that they decided to clean up the Land Raider themselves rather than letting someone on Macrogge do it. I wouldn't describe the Imperium as strictly fascist. It's authoritarian, to be sure, but it's closer to a feudal system with a great deal of religious zeal thrown in. I suppose that's a point. It's kind of like how the Catholic Church had so much influence over medieval Europe. As I understand it, a planet can conduct its own governance however it wishes, so long as the tithes are paid and they are not breaking any imperial laws. Like, you're not allowed to worship any gods other than the Emperor, for example. The really fucked up thing about the Imperium of Man, about the Imperium of Man, though, is that they are the least wrong. They are a horrifying mixture of religious zeal, willful ignorance, and intolerance, but for humans, at least, they're your best bet. One might argue that living on a Tau world might not be so bad. Yeah, there are a number of humans living in Tau territory. There's a word for them. I don't remember what it is. Might not be so bad, but it's difficult to make that determination. I haven't read many novels that depict the life of a human living on a Tau-controlled planet. I've always thought it would be an interesting Dark Mechanicum army concept to kit bash units that resemble demons from Doom 2016/Doom Eternal. The army's Archmagos could be an Olivia Pierce look-alike. I like that part. I'd consider doing it, but I am not going to fall into the trap of buying models I cannot afford. It's probably wise. I do remember hearing that one thing about life on a Tau world that surprised me, which is that the Tau still allow the humans under their domain to... Sorry, just finding an angle here. To worship the Emperor. How the fuck am I gonna do this? Right. You know, minus all the stuff about killing people. No, too far, too far. What's the hold up here? Ha! Sort of funny angle, but it'll do. Right, well, thank goodness for that. Shit! Maybe if I put the... Oh, wait. Right? I can try to do... that! No, no. Ah! Let's get all this stowed stuff cleaned off. Things I like about 40K is that sometimes the names of well, stuff is intentionally a bit on the nose. You know, there's famously a Space Marine chapter who seems to have supernaturally bad luck. Things always go very badly for them. They're always losing members, and I don't know that they've ever been at full strength for a Space Marine chapter. It doesn't help that they're, you know, on the level of the salamanders in terms of actually giving a shit about people. The thing is, this group, this one who is, this chapter that is constantly suffering and dealing with trouble, it's called the Lamenters. A term for someone who sings songs of lamentation. Get all these wheels clean. Actually got some yellow on it in this reflection here, so get this from over here. Yes! That's very silly. I like that. I used an extension and the power nozzle to get some dirt on the underside of the... Do I have to go... Oh, thank goodness. I thought it was going to make me crawl under the tank, and that was going to make me very uneasy. Get rid of this extension. Yeah, I just fired through this gap here between two of the wheels and the tank treads to clean some stuff on the other side. Oh, yes, not even sure what the 40K universe would do if something purely good happened. I don't understand. There isn't any screaming or murder. One thing I thought was kind of funny is that, yeah, I don't know if they just don't write about it or if we've got more important things to worry about by that point, but I've never seen any indication that racism within the human species exists inside of Warhammer 40,000. Like, we just forgot about that after a while or something. Alright, this is not quite done. Ah! There. Well, this will require about 50 million angles, I could already tell. Oh, who could have guessed? Be nice and convenient if I had a servo skull with a hose floating around to get the weird angles on stuff. I mean, you should probably take all these bullets out because there's probably gunk underneath them. I'm just saying. Ah, another data recording. Finally, we have the penal legions. Oh, good. That's what they, put prisoners in. It's, literally suicide missions. We'll just put all the penal legions out first to soften them up. I've collected these, redacted hyperbolic, from every corner of the galaxy. Hyperbole is against the rules? I didn't know that. Well, maybe for the tech priests, they're very joyless. I won't have them, redacted, illustrative, in their cells, and they can be put to use, fighting for the glory of the Imperium. Perhaps I would deploy you amongst them. I mean, they are absolutely nailing the personality of a commissar. I'll give you that. This guy sucks. Yes, that would be perfect for an indolent Mechanicus. I will note that he was not responding to me there. This is a recording. He just assumed I would suck. That's not very nice of him. The word indolent boils down to lazy, for the record. It's not exactly the same thing, but that's close enough. Well, unless it means something different 40,000 years from now. What the fuck do I know? Top heavy stubber box ammo something. Yeah, top heavy stubber ammo box. This is going to be such a pain to finish off. Am I going to have to get in there? Yup. Okay, smoke launcher. Clean. Wait. This is a power washer. Wouldn't it be washing the paint off? Stowed large cloth roll. Why do they need cloth? Stowed crate. Oh, I saw something in here. Oh, no, it's just the track armor. There. Multi-melter sponson cleared. I don't even know what that word means. There we go. The 303rd will appreciate that. Oh yeah, there was another one I thought was genuinely fascinating, wasn't there? Sorry, just a moment. I had this one, Ah, yes, showed it to Duffelfish, who says, "As I understand it, the machine spirit is an actual human spirit or soul enmeshed in the machine itself to prevent any machine from gaining sentience, as they had a war with thinking machines in the distant past." That would be the Men of Iron. The Tau, however, are tech heretics and don't care about AI overthrowing them, and thus their drones and machines don't have souls or machine spirits. And to sum up 40K in general, I will leave you this quote: "There is no such thing as innocence, only degrees of guilt. There are no good guys in the grim darkness of the far future." I like the Tau's story. I haven't really spent much time looking into them, but I like their story. The first time the Imperium discovered them, they were literal cavemen, like primitives living in the dirt. Like, they were so insignificant that the Imperium of Man did not immediately dedicate resources to wiping them out. They're just not enough of a threat to matter. Fuck. Stupid decorative fencing? Who puts a fence on a goddamn scaffolding? Then there was some kind of warp event. I'm not entirely clear on what this was. Maybe just a warp storm that was particularly odd. Where, my understanding, and this could be wrong, is that this event of some kind, like this warp storm or time storm or whatever you want to call it, completely enveloped the system in which they found the Tau and their homeworld, and made it impossible for any Imperials, to hit my... I was gesticulating wildly and hit the headset. It made it impossible for any Imperials to get into the system for like 100 years, which really isn't that long in 40K. Not with people living millennia. Not the public, mind you, but people. It's possible. When they find the test, when that finally cleared up and they could go back into the system, what they discovered was that time had been accelerated inside the system by the effect of whatever this event was. So instead of 100 years passing, it had been closer to like 100,000 years. Which meant that suddenly they'd gone from being cavemen to having such advanced technology that they're running around in Japanese-style mecha. Like, not the big, stompy mechs like the dreadnoughts, like humanoid figures with giant, elegant hands that can carry, physical swords and giant rifles in their hands. They seem to be generally regarded as probably the closest thing to the good guys the faction, the setting has. I mean, they literally follow a philosophy called the greater good, but that's probably just because they're space communists. I mean, their leadership is explicitly corrupt. There's that. Of course, that's inconsistent stuff, too. Like, I think the Tau ending in one of the Dawn of War games suggested that they conquered a human planet and sterilized everyone living there so they couldn't reproduce. Mind you, as I said, they've been doing this lore since the 80s, so it's inevitable that some of it contradicts each other. They kind of lean into that with, like, unreliable narrator stuff and, like, time dilation through warp travel, leading to, like, some fuckery. I mean, that was to explain some fuckery. No. That fleet actually went back in time when they went into the warp. They arrived 100 years before they left. That's why the dates didn't line up on these two separate events we totally forgot about. Weird there wasn't any dirt exactly underneath the tank. Of course it's a tow hook. Oh, I guess this is for vehicles to tow the tank, as opposed to these ones back here, which are tow hooks for the tank to pull stuff. I don't know why you would need something else to tow a tank. I'm also not sure what would have that kind of engine power unless it's a bigger tank. As an enthusiast and not someone who's played the tabletop games, I have to admit I don't actually know how big a Rogaldorn tank is in comparison to other tanks. Imperial Fists! That's the name of Dorn's Space Marine Legion. I couldn't remember. The Emperor designed the Space Marines to operate in legions of 1,000 each. But as the Horus Heresy demonstrated quite ably, this isn't even strapped down. There's just it says stowed pipe wrench, but it's just sitting here. It's not like strapped or anything. Huh. Yeah, the Horus Heresy proved that if a Primarch falls to chaos, it means all of his men fall to chaos. So they divided up the legions into smaller chapters to limit the number of Space Marines they lose to chaos at any given time. Private Bulk, unauthorized data override. Do not listen to the ramblings of that infernal Commissar. Is this a crime? Maybe I shouldn't be listening to this. We in the Penal Legions pledge our allegiance to the Imperium voluntarily, and I'm honored to be part of this regiment. So that guy's probably like a murderer or a rapist or something. Just saying. Better to, redacted conjecture, in honorable futility than as a traitor in a, redacted conditions unconfirmed, concrete box. What? That's an interesting note. 80%. I'll leave it to next time. I'm BurningDogFace, and I will see you on the next episode of Let's Clean PowerWash Simulator. And I know this because to not attend would be a crime. You want to show the Emperor how dedicated you are, don't you? Silly. So we're going to clean this off. We're going to make the people proud. We're probably going to hear about Private Bulk getting executed. And, hey, things will be good because I won't have to deal with that Commissar once we get his tank nice and clean. assuming we get it to 100%. See you next time, guys. Later.